Welcome to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman, the podcast dedicated to helping you build the business of your dreams and live the life you always hoped for, with valuable and fun tips and info to make your life easier and more fun. And now, here's your host, Jason Silverman.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. I'm your host, Jason Silverman, and it's a beautiful day here in New Jersey, which is actually a pretty big deal since yesterday we had tornado warnings in my town. I cannot believe I'm saying that, but yes, we did have tornado warnings. 2 towns away, we actually had a couple houses broken in half by trees with down power lines and all sorts of other craziness, but it looks like today all is well with the world. So, because I'm pretty darn excited about today's show. As you know, I love the opportunity to speak to smart people and, suck out all the real deal info. I like to share some of those superb ideas and the information with you, and as it may just help change the course of your business and also your life. So let's talk social media today, okay? It's pretty much already on everybody's mind, right? Be honest for a second and think. This morning, was checking your Facebook one of the first things you did? How about your Twitter feed? Anybody head over to Pinterest for an idea or 12? Maybe on what to make the kids for lunch or what kind of craft to do, or maybe you just found some really interesting and cool quotes out there. We all do it, and quite frankly, so do our clients and so do our prospects. Here's another question. Are you currently using social media in a manner that helps you to positively impact more people on a regular basis? Because there are correct and proper ways to do this. In addition to posting the cute pictures of your kids, your pets, and, I do that too. So, speaking about social media and using it to help you grow your business, I've got a fabulous guest for our show today. As an early adopter of social media, Nika Stewart has expertly used multiple social media platforms to build an enormous following and catapult her brand image. As the CEO of GhostTweeting.com, she now manages the social media presence for a diverse clientele, including best-selling authors, television hosts, renowned entrepreneurs, and many local businesses. Brick-and-mortar folks, the kind who actually have a door with a key and a lock. As the founder of Laptop Mom Movement, Nika's a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional who has seamlessly integrated her career into her life. She has a passion for working with entrepreneurs and business owners, and she specializes in generating buzz and excitement for her clients through high-impact social media campaigns. Well, Nika, welcome to The Real Deal. We're thrilled to have you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here, and I love everything you're saying already, so I'm even more excited.
Fantastic. Well, but, before we get into everything, tell me this. I always ask everyone, what's your story? What are you passionate about? Why do you do what you do?
Wow. Okay. So why I am passionate about living life on your own terms, and everybody has their own way of how, their own desires and their unique needs and their unique passions, and I think that as a society we kind of all grow up and are trained to do what we're supposed to do or what our parents want or what society seems to call for, and yet most of people I know, if you're looking on social media, most people I think seem to be miserable with their jobs, and we spend most of our life at our jobs, so why would you spend most of your life being miserable? So that leads me to entrepreneurship, which is, I think, the path to living the life you want on your terms. So my passion is living life on your own terms, which means entrepreneurship for me. So I need to have my own business, and if it can help other people live freedom-based lives, then that's even better.
I love it. And obviously, the folks who are our listeners are obviously entrepreneurs. Many of the folks who I work with, both in my coaching programs through Powerful Words Character Development or any of the Dance Sites Done Right or in my mastermind groups, many of them are in the after-school activity world. And, what's so interesting, I think, is that they're some of the most passionate people you'd ever meet because they get to do what they love, whether they're a martial artist or a dancer or a cheer gym owner, or they absolutely get to do what they love. So I feel like we're right in tune with your passion as well. So I think we're in the right place.
Great. Yeah, and as a mom, I'm excited to talk more about this too, because I can talk from a business perspective, but also as a consumer of these businesses. I have a daughter, and I need to bring her to all these places, and so let's talk about how we make our decisions to want to bring our children to these places.
I love it, and this is actually the kind of insight that I think owners need to hear, because I owned a martial arts school for 17 years. The only thing I thought about was, as an owner. I wasn't really thinking of it as a parent and through a parent's eyes. So this is going to be great. But I really want to focus today. I know you are truly the real deal when it comes to social media. So let's talk, frankly for a sec. Why do you feel that small businesses, like many of my owners are, why should they be focusing on a social media marketing or social media marketing campaign?
Well, I think you really said it when you were starting this talk. That's where we spend our lives now, is social media. It's the first thing we do, and we roll over in bed in the morning and pick up our smartphone and check Facebook. As much as we do that, like you said, our clients are doing that. Consumers are relying on their friends' opinions to make decisions. And social media is where everyone puts their opinions and pictures of their cats and their children and talk about, where this is my favorite picture of my cat. I got her leash at this store. And it may be an innocent thing, but now we've caused 10 friends to tell 10 other friends that this is the store they should go to. Social media is where we go to get to make our buying decisions. And so, of course, you have to be, your business has to be on social media, or I don't know if everyone was in business, let's say 10, 12, maybe 15 years ago, when people were still saying, should I have a website? This whole internet thing. People have, do you remember that, where it was still kind of, I guess maybe I should have a website? And now, of course, if you don't have a website, you're not a real business. Well, that's what it is on social media. If you're not there, if conversations are not happening about your business, people don't know about you. You're not a real business if you don't have a Facebook page. People don't trust that you're for real, that you're legitimate. So, of course, you need to be there. People expect it. And right now, it's really one of the most cost-effective ways to promote your business if you do it the right way. And even if you outsource this, if you pay other people either internally or externally to do it, it is still the most cost-effective way to get your business out there, because it's still a very trusted resource for people. People trust what their friends are saying on social media. Well,
absolutely. I mean, and I remember when the whole internet thing happened, and I had my school. It was a small club at the point, but I remember saying, do you think I really should have a website? I mean, do you think anybody goes to those kind of things? And then I remember when Facebook came out, initially, and then it was just kind of, it wasn't really appropriate at that point for businesses, at least not in my eyes. I was wrong. But now, I know the first thing, when I looked at dance studios and then cheer gym or gymnastics clubs, for my daughter, and even skating programs for my son and my daughter, the first thing I did is I Googled, and interestingly enough, in Google, it either brought me to their Facebook page or their website. Interestingly enough, the smart ones actually also brought me to YouTube and all the other stuff, but that's conversation for another day. But the reality of it is that I spent a good amount of time seeing, what kind of reviews, and did anybody I know also go there? So you're spot on. I mean, this is not a fad, right?
Yeah, well, if it is, it's something you should get in on right now before it's not a fad anymore. Because I wouldn't call it a fad because it's so ingrained in our culture right now. It's not a flighty thing. You may have thought so when it first came out, but it's here to stay now. This is what we're doing.
Got it. Okay. Well, tell me this, because I think most folks tend to learn more from the negative than the positive. So I will ask this quick question. What do you feel, because I'm sure you see this all over the web, what do you feel the biggest mistakes that owners are making, small business owners are making on social media?
There's a few things. I think the first thing I would say is not using it, and that's just number one. And then for people who have tried, business owners who are going on social media and are saying, well, I have a Facebook page, the biggest mistake that they're making is not being consistent. It's actually the biggest mistake I see with anyone in business, whether they're a solopreneur running a business just by themselves or someone owning a brick and mortar with employees, even to the largest businesses and brands out there. The biggest mistake is that we tend to post when we have a chance, and we think, well, we're supposed to post a whole bunch of stuff, so we may post a lot of stuff for a day or two and then take a week or two off. There's just no consistency, which leads to a lack of trust. In your business, you need to be consistently giving good service, and people translate what they're seeing online or not seeing online to how they feel about what service they're going to get from you. So you need to be consistent, meaning, yes, you need to post every day. On some of these platforms, you need to be posting several times a day, if not more than several times a day. You need to be consistent with your branding. Everything you post needs to be in alignment with who you are as a leader in your industry. Just be persistent and consistent. That's the biggest mistake that I see. Except that there's one other that I see with small businesses lately is that people haven't learned what social media really is, and they're treating it more like advertising, and they're being too promotional on social media. That's another big mistake. People will get turned off by that. Say more about that, because you're hitting on something. Nothing pisses me off more than actually seeing somebody all over my Facebook feed that's just marketing, and trying to jam stuff down my throat. Say more about that, though, because from an expert's perspective, what are they doing wrong? How could they fix it? Well, on social media, the reason we all go to social media is to be informed and entertained. And there were studies even done to ask people, why do you visit a brand's Facebook page? And the brands were thinking, well, the number one reason people come to my page is for money off or to find out what our newest services and promotions are. But, of course, that's not true. Why we go to a page is to be entertained and informed. That doesn't mean that you're not promoting your business. You just have to do it in a way that entertains and informs. You need to give value in as entertaining a way as possible to your audience, or they're not going to look. They're going to unfollow. They're going to turn off your page. They're not going to look. We really want to open up our Facebook page and get promoted to? No one wants to get promoted to. So that's another thing that businesses say, well, then if I can't promote, what am I doing on social media? What you're doing is you're building up your expert status. You're building your platform. You're building relationships with people who want more from you naturally because you're giving them such good entertaining value. That's how you succeed on social media. By promoting, yes, but not promoting like advertising. You're giving great information.
We don't want to be like the set it and forget it guy. Okay, I got you.
No.
I got you. All right. Well, obviously, of all the social media networks out there, what do you feel are really the most effective for local businesses?
Yeah, it's different for every type of business, right? There's so many out there, and people get overwhelmed. Like, okay, here's another one. Here's another 10 I need to get on. You don't need to be on all of them. You need to be on the ones that are most effective for your type of business and where your audience is. And although I am a Twitter queen, rock star, you can't really go on Twitter for more than 10 minutes and not see a post of mine because I am just on Twitter all day long, and I love Twitter. It's not the most effective for local businesses if you're attracting local clients, because Twitter is really worldwide. it's international, and you'll attract people from all over the world, which is great if that's who you want to attract. But if your goal is to get more people in your local community to know about you, Facebook is one of the best places to be, and Instagram is fast becoming really huge, depending on if your audience is there. And I think for who we're talking to today, Instagram is a wonderful place to be.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's I actually have to learn more about Instagram myself. That's actually that's pretty cool. So, when we think about we talk about some of the mistakes, people posting the wrong things or not posting. What do you feel that these owners should be posting? What can they be posting?
Well, again, I'm going to say you want to post content that's interesting and entertaining to your audience. So that means you post something. Again, it depends on who your audience is. But let's say it's people in your community who have children. I think that's probably a common audience or target that we're looking for. So parents in your local community are probably looking for more information on things they can use for their children. I mean, if you're a cheer gym and you're looking to attract moms of teenage girls, what else do moms of teenage girls want to know about? It could be current events. It could be local happenings. It could be funny stories. It could be inspirational stories. Articles, you can send people to articles all over the web, so you become known as someone who gives great information that's entertaining and informative. Of course, you also want to know, what is your brand? Do you want to be someone who's funny or inspirational, motivational? Decide what your brand is. That goes back to consistency. So if you're someone who your branding is very inspiring, so everything you post needs to be inspirational. So maybe there's a great story in the news you want to show people, a video. Now, this doesn't mean you're not promoting. Once in a while, you do put out a promotion to your audience, but again, it needs to be something you have to think what's in it for them, not, hey, we have a new class, you should come sign up, here's how much it costs, click here and give us your credit card. It's more about what is in it for them. How can you make your promotion informative, valuable, and entertaining? And sticking with your branding, which is inspirational, for example. So I just threw a whole bunch of stuff at you.
No, you did. You did. The answers are fantastic, actually. And one of the things that I think when I think of many of my clients, and this probably falls under the potential mistakes, and it also ties into the branding issue, is a lot of folks now, especially with some of the current political climates happening, are focusing their business Facebook page on what they don't like about this person or this politician or this current shutdown or whatever. Obviously, that has very little to do with their brand.
Unless it does. I mean, if your brand is political, then great, you should be posting political things right now because people expect that from you. But if it never was before, right now what you're showing people is that you have no consistency in your brand, and you're going to turn. I'm a true believer in being very strong in your opinions, because if you're just white vanilla cream that with no strong opinions, you're kind of not making anyone happy. However, I don't know, political talk and religious talk is generally, social media is not the place for that for businesses. And maybe that's just my strong opinion. But
no, it's actually in my opinion as well, only because it's like, you know what? I get it. That's cool. You like this one, you don't like that one, so be it. Really not interested in regard to this type of business. So, all right, that actually is super helpful. You mentioned this a little bit before, and I kind of want to get a little bit more information on it. You talked about, with some of these platforms, you have to post more often, or you should post, or you can post. How often should business owners be posting? in a perfect world?
Okay, in the perfect world, if we're talking about every platform has a different culture. So when I mentioned Twitter, on Twitter, a recent study shows that to get the most engagement and the most followers and the most clicks over to your website, the most clicks to whatever you're promoting on Twitter, you want to be posting at least 23 times a day. Now, luckily, when we talk about Facebook, you don't have to post that often. In fact, you will turn people off if you post that often. So on Facebook, you want to be posting daily. Once a day is a great start. 2 or 3 times a day is usually better. People, when you post something on Facebook, it does sit there. It doesn't disappear like on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter and I post something now, if you don't log on to Twitter for 5 minutes, you didn't see my post. I better post again. On Facebook, it's still there when you log on 5 minutes later. But you do want to post more often because people, with Facebook's algorithms, and they keep changing it and they don't let us in on all their secrets. But what we can tell is that if you post several times a day, people are more likely to see what you've posted. So if you, and I have no problem with scheduling too. You can, in the morning, schedule your morning, afternoon, and evening posts. So you don't have to stop work and log on to Facebook, every few hours.
Got it.
But yeah, a few times a day on Facebook. On Instagram is the same thing. Instagram is newer, so we're still learning what works best, but we're seeing that more often is better. We live in this world where, what have you done for me lately? You posted something great an hour ago, but now what? Give me something else. And it can become overwhelming and stressful, which is why you want to plan. You want to schedule. You can't schedule or automate your relationship building, but you can schedule your broadcasting. So
wait, I have to interrupt you for a second. You said something phenomenal as far as you can't automate your your engagement or your relationship building. Say more about that, because I think that's really the key to this whole social media thing. What do you mean by that, and how do you see relationship building happening?
Yeah, and what's interesting is generally people will say, and all the gurus will say, and everyone will agree, that social media is about one-on-one relationship building, just like in real life. Putting out an advertisement is not what gets you the business. It's building trust with one person that's more important. And yes, of course that's true, but there have been studies that show that the people who are getting the most traction on social media are people who do broadcast more information. So you don't want to stop the broadcasting of your information. But building relationships is, even though we're online and it's virtual, it's not something that, it's leveraged in that you can sit in your office and chat with someone instead of having to put on a nice outfit and a tie and do your hair and drive somewhere to talk to someone. It's a lot easier. Social media makes it easier, but it doesn't take away the fact that you're still a human being needing to make a human connection. And so with all of these great tools to be able to schedule and automate your sending out of this entertaining, invaluable information, you then need to still, like when someone will write, great article. If you don't say, hey, thanks, Joe, for writing to me, Joe will stop caring about you. You haven't acknowledged him. People are human beings. We need acknowledgement. We need thanks. We need love, all of us, your clients. You also then want to promote other people, show them that you like their stuff, comment on other people's things. It's a great way to build a relationship. It's also a great way to get more visibility by going over on other people's pages and commenting and posting. People reciprocate. They come to your page and they post. You build relationships. You build community. And that is, of course, not something that can be really leveraged or like I said, automated or scheduled. You actually have to just sit down and to make the time to do that, like in real life. It's how you get people to know, like, and trust you.
Perfect. Well, what I love the most is of so many of the folks that I speak with, so many of the top-level experts, everybody uses that same phrase, getting folks to know, like, and trust you. And it reverberates in my mind and has for the past, 10, 12 years that is our primary goal. And actually being somebody who should be known, liked, and trusted. So that's fantastic. What would you say, if you had to boil down, your number one piece of advice for business owners to take on social media, what would it be?
I always come back to consistency, and I said this before. I think that people will try things and then give up because they don't see the traction. Well, you don't get the traction until you are consistent, and sometimes that can take weeks or months, which really is not a very long time. I mean, you know that if you put one ad in the newspaper, you can't decide if it was successful or not just from that one time. People need to see it several times, if not more than several times, before they start recognizing you and then maybe have the need when they see it on the 12th time they see it. We've all kind of been taught in marketing that we need to be consistent, not just throw something out there once and decide it did or didn't work. Social media is the same thing. You don't just try it for a week or two and decide, if you didn't like it. You need consistency. You need to stick with something. The people who are doing the best on social media now are the ones who have been doing this for years because it just builds on top of itself. So just pick your plan, commit to it, and be consistent, and you will see results.
Fantastic. I'm going to ask you a similar question, but I'm going to remove the whole social media aspect of it. One of the things that I like to ask my guests, as many of our listeners are either starting out in their business or they haven't yet reached the pinnacle of success that they really want to and deserve to reach. So let me ask you this question. If you could give a new business owner or a current business owner one piece of advice to make themselves more successful and their lives happier, what do you feel that one piece of advice would be?
My gosh. I feel like I have 20 different pieces of advice in my head. I'm going to say something.
I'll let you do two.
Well, my first thought is similar to consistency in social media, which, by the way, is true for any kind of marketing and business. I would say persistence in your goals is one of the things I have noticed, and I do a lot of masterminding and brainstorming with other people in business and people who are way ahead of me in business so that I could be pulled up to their level. The one thing I've noticed, and I've learned from them, I've noticed it in them, and I've noticed it looking back at the times that I have either failed or succeeded, the one thing that has helped me and all the other successful people in business is being persistent, especially through failures. Anytime you see something as it didn't work or it was a huge challenge, to see what the bigger opportunity is in that and keep going in a stronger and bigger way. I think that can make or break your success. I mean, we all have challenges and failures. Everyone does. The people that succeed are the ones who decide that those challenges or failures were just little roadblocks or bumps, and then they just continue and decide to do it in a bigger or better way. The people who stop say, well, look what happened. I failed. Well, the people who succeeded had that same failure and decided it wasn't a complete failure and kept going.
Spectacular piece of advice. Reminds me one of the things that was drummed into my head early on in my martial arts journey was having an instructor continually say, "Fall down 7 times, get up 8," which was really important because especially being an entrepreneur is a lonely job. Especially when you get everybody, you fall flat on your face and someone says, how much longer are you going to do this? Why don't you go get a real job? Or, gosh, it's killing me to watch you fail. We've all heard those things. So I love it, being persistent and regardless. I mean, I always called it just being thick-skinned or knuckleheaded, but you know that for me that was always the truth. But I love that. I absolutely love it. All right, so now it's time for our resource of the week.
And now here's your real deal resource of the week.
So I'm sure many of the folks listening are definitely thinking, how do I get more? How do I learn more? So if our folks wanted to get in touch with you or learn more, discover more about what you do, where can they go online?
Well, our company website is ghosttweeting.com, and I would love to talk to anybody about how, if there is a way. I mean, we possibly have some programs that will just take all of this stress away from them and be able to do the social media marketing part for them. And I'm happy to talk to anyone about that to see if it's possible we can help. We have a form on our website to just quickly fill out, and we'll schedule a time to chat with you. That's where you go, ghosttweeting.com.
Well, and also, can they obviously they can find you on social media, so where can they check you out there?
Where I am, I told you most of the day and night is on Twitter at my name, Nika Stewart. So you just find me, twitter.com/Nika Stewart. On Facebook, our company page is Ghost Tweeting. And, I have Instagram at Ghost Tweeting, LinkedIn. We're on every platform, either my name or Ghost Tweeting.
Perfect. All right. Well, folks, here's my suggestion. I'm a big proponent of finding people who are way, way smarter than me and leveraging that brain power to help build my business. Nika, you are definitely the real deal. So thank you so much for joining us today. Great tips, and I really enjoyed this today.
Well, thank you so much. It was really fun, and I hope people got some good, valuable information that they're going to use to build their businesses. Well,
I don't know about them, but I've got about 2.5 pages of notes sitting here, so it's already been a win. Well,
great.
Folks, that's all the time we've got today. Thanks for tuning into The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. For more information about private coaching or to see if you'd benefit from one of my mastermind groups, please visit me at www.jasonmsilverman.com. I look forward to helping you achieve the success that you truly deserve. Until next time, I'll leave you with this. Get out there and be the real deal. It's the only way to succeed. This has been Jason Silverman. I hope you have a spectacular week. See you next time.
You've been listening to The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. To access the great resources mentioned in the show and for information on coaching and mastermind group opportunities with Jason, please visit jasonmsilverman.com.